school. Some of the policies in the handbook pertaining to grade and access to student discipline and grade records, I don't know how that would pertain to y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all would need to have like your own handbook that was just for y'all, because your coaches, if they're not employed by the school system, I don't think they would get access to grades. I mean, I guess they could do like progress reports, like the kids you could say, you got to bring your progress reports to us. I don't know. That's a gray area. I don't understand the ins and outs of that. So I don't know if it would be better for y'all to have a handbook that was tailored to y'all's needs, because y'all's needs may be a lot different than the needs at the high school. And there's a lot of fluff in ours that I don't know that you would necessarily need some of the verbiage, or
it doesn't pertain to
it's very, very
their
different.
organization. It's more geared toward TSSAA and TSSMA.
And that's like the biggest thing is, each league has their bylaws, just like Tri-County, who we were with last year, and then Duck River as well. Usually they have it set out to where if it doesn't fall within their bylaws, either falls on our bylaws and TSSAA, because it is a contact sport. We have to follow the same protocols of like the heat, weather, and everything else. We're technically not underneath the TSSAA, but they use that as a guidance.
There's a lot of good stuff in there that I think y'all could use, maybe to get one that tailors to y'all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good information in there.
And I think the only thing that you would need to add, and this is just my thoughts on this, because we've talked about this, is that just the section of what the board is helping you guys with fundraising or your money, that it follows the guidelines of the school, and your coaches have to undergo background checks.
Yes.
And drug screens. And then you can make your own handbook with your Duck River bylaws and then just add that section to it. Because that way it's your organization, because what the schools do really doesn't apply to the community football program. Some of the things that's in their handbook. I see what you're saying. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there that's just pertaining to TSSAA. In that handbook, when I read it. That's just my thought.
This is not totally just community football. This is the elementary kid. That's why they're under the school board. So they fall under the school board. I don't understand
Well, I don't mean that. I mean, I get what you're saying, but Duck River is a different conference, I guess, and they have their bylaws that they have to go by. So it's going to have to be a blending of the two.
We're just trying to figure out how we can work together, because it is the gray area with the elementary and then partially middle school.
Yeah.
And other schools, the other team, like I think half the teams there, they don't have that issue because it's all technically elementary. Now, when we're in Tri-County, it was kind of how we had it here, where they specifically said, no seventh graders, because they had a middle schools in Tri-County, Trousdale and all that. That's who we were playing with last year. And this year, we're playing against Chapel Hill, Cascade, Eagle, Unionville, and all that. And it was almost more county, but they decided not to.
If we're trying to kind of lay out the relationship between you guys and the board, would it not even be appropriate, if this is the Cannon County Schools athletic handbook, just to have an appendix in that handbook to talk about what we do with them? And then they can have their, if you do that appendix, and then you guys have the stuff you do with Duck River, plus you can refer to that to know
Just have a third section almost.
third section.
And then we can help you. we can help you do that. And she's really good at this stuff, but we can help you because my concern, and I shouldn't be speaking about this at all because I'm not a sports person, but my concern would be, do you hold the kids? I don't want, and I'm saying this as a mom, my elementary school child held to the same grade standard because it is a community thing. That would be as a mom, that's what I'm saying. So I think we can work together and then they can approve it again.
I think that's what we discussed at the principals meeting.
Okay.
He came to our principals meeting, we had a good conversation.
You're welcome.
And we discussed that there needs to be a committee that gets together that's a blend of both worlds and come up with something that will help him when he goes out and recruits for coaches and things of that sort.
And I'll tell you right now, the biggest pushback I get is, well, why do we have to go to the school board to get our drug screening and background checks? I don't care where you are. I knew all my coaches growing up had to do the same thing, and they were not affiliated with us. And I'm like, well, you'd have to do the same thing with us. You're like, you know, I put it in the scenario, I was like, this, the thing going with them, they help us with our insurance. And then we have someone now looking at the 501c angle just to get them priced out. Like, okay, well, we have to incorporate all that stuff plus field time because, you know, we'd have to rent it from the high school, get high school approval, through the board, still, hold up, assuming. And then, you know, insurances, just basically if we had players hurt. I mean, we had a player hurt last year with concussion. Bluff. And, you know, it's just keeping us, you know, on the same path, keeping our community and children safe. And, you know, I mean, I see nothing wrong with it, but I'm trying to look at it from both sides, try to help everyone else understand, like, why is the school board involved? Why? Like, I researched the history. I was like, but that was in the past. I'm trying to move forward. I can't dwell on the past. I have to move forward. And that's why I'm trying to get everything in line with all these documents and just get everything transparent.
So you guys can help him with this.
I think that's, I'll do the wording of Duck River Valley. We're part of Duck River Valley too, the middle school. We will help you in that. I just think making a third section of the handbook, what do you think, Courtney? I think that's
probably a really
fine,
good idea.
because that
And
way
then
you
that's
can
all
refer,
together.
and it's all together,
That's cool.
but you can have a distinctive, this is our youth program, these are middle and high school. You can refer, you know, you can have your own thing in there, so everything's under one thing. Get on it.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Number 11 on the agenda, this is, how are you tonight? We're gonna be talking about, 2 rooftop units.
Gonna be at Cannon County Elementary / Cannon County Middle,
Okay.
and it's 2 original units that was put on with the school. Would you take one? These are original units, so they're hitting their 23 years, and they have been giving us a lot of problems, so I just reached out. This is the bid or the quote on the 2 units that I have given you. I have found out now that I can just buy units straight through Train without having to do what I had to do before with all the salespeople. So I've reached out and got a different contact now, and I can just call him and he can give me prices and leave everybody else out of the picture. And so that's for 2 units, and then the person that's gonna set them, his will be different than that. He said it would be no more than $6,500 for him to get the crane and to set the 2 units. But the check will actually go to Train for the 2 units, and then he owns a company that was actually gonna do the work for me.
Is this state contract? Is this guy's state contract?
The trainee is, he's under this amount of state contract, so I don't have to do him.
Have you talked to Diane
Mhm.
about? Okay.
Sure. And,
I
oh,
just-
no, I know you're paranoid, he's, trained and state contracted, so we don't have to worry about that. And then he's under the mark on, he's a different company, so he's under the mark on setting up. And this is hopefully how I'll be starting to buy the units for the high school and the elementary school / middle school.
We use adequate facilities.
And that is gonna be using adequate facility money, so this is not actually, it's the new money y'all found out about a few months ago. So it's really not affecting year's budget, but I'm gonna start spending that and trying to upgrade these units.
Is price including that 6,500 or 6,500?
No, that is the price for the units and that 6,500. Can even do it for 5,500, he said, but he said quote it out high, but he's hoping he can do it for 5,500.
So if they approve this, they'll need to do an approval for the train
Yeah.
and then an approval for the installation.
And this way, we're not having to keep giving out for, the special people to get their money. We'll just back them straight out. And then after this, I think that the rooftops will, I only like, 3 more rooftops, having all brand new ones on top of Woodbury Grammar School / the middle school. So hopefully I can work on the 2 more after this, but I wanted to get these done and out of the way because it is an 8 to 10 week lead time. And I really want to try to get these done, even though they're smaller units. I'm hoping to get them done the very first of the summer. And he doesn't think it'll take long to set those 2 small ones. The big one that we need on the back of the cafeteria that we've talked about a few months ago, that is gonna be a little harder. That's gonna, because it's a huge unit, so I've got to time that one out perfect. So they don't have in summer school and it graduation and all that. I'm gonna have to time that one perfect.
Thank you for your work. on that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Anybody have any more questions? Coming on? Number 12, let's pull our calendars out. We have to have a special fall board meeting to review the director applications. And from what I reviewed today, making sure I remembered it correctly, that needs to be this month. If we are following, which we agreed we would follow the same pathway we did last year. So, yeah, before the next meeting. Any suggestions or ideas from anybody to get the conversation started?
Or March.
We have next week, the week of the 17th. You're gonna be out.
So we got a budget meeting the 24th, correct?
We do. And so I had thought we would look maybe at doing the budget and that night, but I don't think we need to do that.
And we need to do this before when?
The next board meeting. Anybody have any opposition to March the 3rd? Need to check one. Wade, what does that look like for you? March the 3rd, it's a Monday night.
I'm just so booked, I don't know.
I know, I mean, like, we have to really think about
Any day, I'm fine.
The March meeting, we will hear what the LT. We do the interviews. So kind of what we did last.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up so I can make sure I'm right. at the board, March board meeting, we'll schedule open interviews for the 3 top candidates. And those will take place around the 1st of April. And then we'll have to have a special April fall meeting to do the interviews, actually carry those out. So we will tentatively look at that for March the 3rd then. Nobody have any objections? 6.
Here,
Yes, and that would be my, if it's available, if it's available.
I'll have to see. I'm not, I don't know.
Yeah, if not,
We can have it
we
in
can
the
have it in the
boardroom.
boardroom, yeah. All right. Any more questions about that process? All right, number 13 is approval for a bid of backup generators for Cannon North, Cannon South, Cannon Elementary, and Cannon Middle.
Yes, we currently have a backup generator for the central office, which keeps the network going here. All of these schools funnel through here, so that keeps the network up and going. We have a backup generator at the high school that keeps, not all of the high school, but most of the front of it going. What this would be is adding a generator to the elementary / middle. It'd be adding one to south and adding one to north. This keeps all infrastructure as far as the network up and going in the event of a power outage. And what that does, that allows every phone inside the main building stay up and still be able to have use. It will also keep the paging system still being able to use. We've had, I think just this year, and you can correct me if it was this year, wasn't it? Power outage right when school was ready. So once that happens, it takes the whole intercom system down, it takes all the phones down, and it's kind of chaos. So what this allows is, it allows all of that infrastructure to stay up and going in the event of a power outage. So we're just asking for the board for approval just to allow us to bid it out.
Great, thank you. All right. Number 14 is the director's comments. Number 15 is the chair's comments, and he's not here, and that's not. Hey, if anybody got anything? If not, we will adjourn. We'll see everybody Thursday night.
And Warren